Today I want to talk to you a little bit about exercise dogma or workout program dogma, bodybuilding dogma, weight training, powerlifting, whatever it is. So what I want to talk to you about is adaptability, right? Because every exercise program has its advantages and disadvantages, and depending on where you are at in your training, and I'm not even talking about intermediate, beginner, or advanced. I'm talking about where your body is at based on its injury history, based on its recuperation, based on what its weak links are. That will dictate what type of program works for you in that moment, and only you can find out through your own humility. And what I mean by humility is that you are receptive to what is working instead of what you think should work. See, that's where a lot of people get caught up. On the internet especially, they get caught up in identification with information and they say, this is the right way, it's the only way, and then they start witch hunting anybody that doesn't, work out that way or do an exercise that way or whatever, diet that way, whether it's a person that's a vegetarian or a meat eater or whatever, they're saying everybody should be their way. The bottom line is you got to discard all this religious crap. You got to discard all this idealism. Discard idealism if you want results. That's the first thing. If you want results from your training, you have to discard all idealism about how things should be, how everyone in the world should be, how you should be. You discard all of it, okay? Because if you're thinking this person should train a certain way, you're definitely going to be thinking this person should be training a certain way, right? Now, the beautiful thing about this is that when you discard the idealism, you become open to really observing and receiving what's working in that moment. And the funny thing is some things that have worked for you in the past will no longer work for you today. Right? So for instance, one of my favorite bicep exercises is the incline bicep curl. I love it. I think it's the best exercise for growing biceps. But for me now, it isn't, because one of my shoulders sits forward because of the dislocation, the torn labrum from the hockey injury, okay? So now when I do an incline curl, sometimes it actually overstretches the ligaments and tendons on the shoulder joint, and then it actually flares out my shoulder. So if I do it heavy, it'll basically mess my shoulder up. So now I have to discard my idealism about, hey, that bicep exercise is my favorite exercise and it's the best thing ever. Now I have to say, no, what is working for me now in this moment with where I am at, okay? This takes a little bit of flaky self-love. Okay, some of you guys out there might be like, oh, here he goes, but the fact is that you have to understand where you are at, and if you can work with where you are at, then you can get greater results, because now you're gonna work with your strengths and weaknesses and be truthful about it. You're not gonna be in denial about it, right? So, I'm not throwing baseballs at 90 miles an hour or trying to throw a baseball at 90 miles an hour because I know I'll pop my shoulder out or something will happen to it. So this is the thing, you have to carry your training around what your strengths and weaknesses are. I see so many guys in the gym all the time, they're like, hey, every time I squat and I squat deep, or I squat this way or do this type of weight or whatever, my knees hurt. I'm like, okay, well then try to adjust the weight, try to get some massage on your leg, try to work on the knots in the muscles, maybe some physiotherapy, I don't know, but try to do something different in order to find out what is the right way for you to do the exercise, right? Rather than constantly hitting a wall, ow, 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 you just keep on running up against that wall over and over again. You don't have to do that. Okay, so there's a certain amount of pain that is reasonable in training, because this is a painful sort of endeavor that we're in when we're bodybuilding or lifting weights. But then there's a type of pain that is just senseless. It doesn't make sense. You don't have to cause joint pain or needless pain. So one guy that gets a lot of flack on YouTube and is extremely popular is Scooby, okay? And I've made some comments about him before and said, hey, that guy does partial reps for chest and he's got one of the biggest chests around, okay? And then people say, oh, do you want the rest of his physique, all this? And they just start being smartasses about it and stupid, right? But the fact remains, the guy has a wicked looking chest. It's pretty big, and he only does partials. Okay, just elbows hit the ground and then comes right back up again, and he has a wicked chest. So what I'm saying is he found what works for him. He didn't say, okay, I'm gonna go all the way down, touch my chest to the bar even though it hurts my shoulder. He did what he felt was right to hit the muscles, not the joints. Okay, so this is the thing, you need to have humility. You need to discard your idealism. You can't be a fanatic if you want to be a success. I mean, Steve Jobs was like this. I mean, I saw one documentary on him just a little while ago, and he just said, I didn't care about being right. I just cared about what worked. So whether you like the guy or not, I don't care. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you have a goal, be receptive to what is working. Don't get too idealistic about what should work or what did work before. Find out what's working right now. Okay, because every day you're getting a little older, or every day you might be getting stronger. Maybe you're using different pounders, there's different weights. Maybe your flexibility is better or worse. Maybe your joints have different injuries or different types of things that they're going through. Maybe your organ systems are different. There's a whole bunch of factors that contribute to what will work for you in this moment or not. Sometimes it's stress levels. Sometimes it's just the fact that you're able to push yourself harder than you could when you were a beginner. But you don't realize this because it's all relative. You're just you. You just know that, hey, I tried 100% today, but your 100% today might be 10 times more intense than your 100% 5 years ago, right? This might have a different type of taxing effect on the overall system. So you have to be be here with your training and really respond to what's working and give up idealism. And this will take you a lot farther. And not only that, it will allow you to train well into old age instead of just, training for a few months and then destroying yourself because you're trying to be like this person or that person. And that person might be telling you some misinformation because they have an invested interest in another point of view. So anyway, I hope that helps you out with your training. And if you need to get a hold of me, check me out at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and I have some workout programs in MP3 form there, and I have the music that I use on my workout channel there as well for purchase. So take care for now.